y'all, this Thursday. Another episode of the Late Night Vision Show is headed your way. This is episode 256. We've got another scope review for you, and it's something, again, that a big brother of a scope that we've reviewed recently. To help me do the review, as always, the owner of Outdoor Legacy, Mr. Jason Robertson. How's it going? What's going on today?
It is going good. I'm going to tell you something, guys. If y'all are watching this on YouTube, it's a little bit of a struggle bus. I moved my microphone around, and I don't know if I like it. It's got a weird shadow on me. I don't know. It's in the opposite side of my face.
I
so
timed
it all feels
it. It
weird.
was 20 minutes. You've been messing with it for 20 minutes before we started taping the show.
You know what? I wouldn't have believed that, but I looked at my clock, and you may be right there. So it's been a long time, and I may turn around and move it back. I don't know if I like it here, but anyway, just always trying something new after years of doing the same thing. You want to switch.
This was after last week when we both had microphone issues and at the same exact time. And for all of y'all that tuned in a few weeks ago when I had poison ivy, we didn't know. Jason and I didn't know, but he also had poison ivy at the same time I did. So it's kind of crazy.
It was very, when we were done with the show, I was like, man, it's funny you're talking about that. I've got this place on my face over here that's been itching. Sure enough, it whelped up. I had poison ivy, and we haven't been within 2 counties of each other in a month or so. But we're both getting out there in the woods this time of year, and that stuff's
mine's finally gone away. So we are today, we're going to be reviewing the iRay Rico GH50. Now, if y'all remember, we reviewed the iRay Rico GL35, which is the $3,000 384 resolution scope. Today we've got the 640 resolution version of that same form factor. This is the Rico GH50. I'm holding it up right now. If you're listening on the audio only version and you want to see what the scope looks like, we got a bunch of good video thanks to Ashley, our salesman, who has been out hustling at night. We've gotten kind of, well, I would say you haven't gotten lazy because you've been getting a lot of good video too. Maybe I've gotten lazy and hadn't.
I think that's what you're trying to say.
Exactly. Y'all have been putting in the work, getting some great video. So we're going to be showing that as we're talking about it. Jason's going to run down the specs. We're going to talk about the likes and dislikes, the walk around the scope. This is a long form review. If you're wanting shorter reviews, you can always check out my YouTube channel, Hans East Texas, where this will be coming out probably within the next couple of weeks. But if you're interested in purchasing a brand new night vision or thermal optic, you have questions, you need some direction, you need somebody to talk to that's used the stuff in the field, Jason and I would love to help you. Our other salesman, Ashley, we would love to take your call and answer your questions and earn your business. A little bit about what sets us apart from everybody else is the fact that you can actually talk to us and we'll take the time and to help you figure out what's best for your needs. Anyway, all night vision and thermal optics, 877-350-1818, outdoorlegacygear.com. I'm going to say it again, the website, outdoorlegacygear.com. If you call the number and you ask for Hans, you ask for Jason, you ask for Ashley, you're going to get us. If you talk to, I'm going to put this in there real quick, Jason. If you talk to somebody at a night vision company that you think is Outdoor Legacy, and it's not Jason, it's not Hans, or it's not Ashley, you do not have the right company. And I say that because it's happened. People that have called other companies thinking that they're talking to us. So if you don't hear those 3 names, Jason, Hans, or Ashley, you need to hang up immediately.
We're going to take it a step further. There's an issue with a company with a similar name, and so we got to be careful. Like Hans says, when you call, there's also times that they might say that their name is Jason, Hans, or Ashley. If you ask, I have had numerous reports of that. So be sure. Look at, we've got our number here on the show. It's always there. The website, if you get to our website, you see our, the Outdoor Legacy logo. Just be sure. We've got some issues with some people that are, I guess imposters is the
And
word. It's a growing issue. It's not this is not a one-off. This is happening.
and
So
and
anyway, all right,
imposters are
guys,
not very good people. Anyways, beware of scams.
no. Let's beware of
Yeah.
scams. All right, let's talk about this, folks. This is a cool scope. Hans has got the optic there with him. He's going to do the walk around, and he's going to show you all about it here in a minute. I'm going to go over the specs of it. I'm going to try to do this quickly. I know that there's a lot of people that get bored to tears during the specs. There's some guys that really, really enjoy the specs, but I'm going to try to go through these. Again, this is the InfiRay Outdoor. As we know them in the United States, it's distributed by iRay USA. And this unit is called the Rico GH50. Now, I want to go ahead and clear up any confusion. There is also a soon-to-be released. We're doing this in the last week of March 2023. There is a soon-to-be released GH50R. The R stands for rangefinder. That unit will have a rangefinder. It'll have a little different battery pack system. Otherwise, the optic will be mostly the same. That unit is not currently here. Don't know when it'll be here. I mean, it could be a couple weeks. It could be a month or two, but it is coming hopefully very soon. So we will be reviewing that once it comes out as well. But this is the GH50 with no laser rangefinder. The cost on this unit is $49.99, so right at $5,000. There's going to be some questions come up. People are going to say, how does this compare to the previous InfiRay Rico MK1 RH50? That's a very, very popular scope that is, I guess, probably the first model that iRay USA ever started shipping here in the country.
Very first one.
And very first one. It's super popular. There's some questions of how does this compare? Well, guys, we're going to talk about that. We will talk about that on into the review. So if you're curious, maybe you're looking at both models, we'll hopefully give you some of that info. And again, as Hans said, you can always call us if you're getting ready to buy, but you just want to be sure you know which one to get. So, all right, GH50, $49.99 from InfiRay Outdoor, being sold here in the U.S. from iRay USA. Here we go. All right, this is a 640 by 512 resolution thermal scope. The 512 throws some people off because we're used to 640 by 480. What that really just means is that the screen, when you look in there, is going to be a little more square than than rectangle.
Right.
It's to be honest, no one ever mentions it. Nobody notices. It's but anyway, for what that's worth, it is a 12 micron thermal sensor. It's got a 50 hertz refresh rate. It is the let's see, I'm trying to read this. My printer has been going out on toner. InfiRay Micro 2 640 Matrix 3 processor. That's the imaging processor that's in there. That's the same thing that's in the other 640
We're gonna start a GoFundMe for Jason for more toner for his printer. How about that?
I know exactly. Good gravy. I'm gonna have to get it. Maybe it's glasses, but that couldn't be it.
Yeah, exactly.
It does have a 50 millimeter lens, a very fast f1.1 lens. Magnification. It is a 3-power base magnification. It does go up in digital zoom all the way to 12 power. And so, again, 3-power base mag. The detection range on this, according to iRay, is 2,400 yards. And I am doing some fast math right here to give you the field of view. Field of view is 46 feet horizontally at 100 yards. We would consider that, an average field of view. So 46 foot at 100 yards. It's got an AMOLED display at a 1024 by 768 screen resolution. Again, that's just the display screen. It's got all the normal color palettes: white hot, black hot, red hot. It's got a color mode, and then it has the highlight mode that some people really like on the InfiRay products. It is 7 different reticles. 2 are dynamic and 5 are static. It's got 4 different colors of the reticles, and it has picture-in-picture. It has video recording. It has, hey, Hans, I'm looking here at my notes I'm looking at their specs. It does not mention audio.
It does have audio.
There
Yeah, it does
is
have audio. Yeah, it does
audio.
have audio recording.
It does
Yeah.
have, yeah, it does have audio. And then just looking down through the more notes, there's a bunch of this stuff y'all don't care about. Video recording. It has the USB-C for external power. It's got Wi-Fi to use the InfiRay Outdoor smartphone app, which is really nice. And then let's get to a few of the more important things. Battery life. This is a big one. All right, guys. Hans is going to show you this in a minute. This is a 2-unit or 2-battery unit. It's got one internal non-removable battery that you can't take out, but you can recharge by plugging in the scope into the USB. It's got another battery that you can remove, you can take out, and it is rechargeable as well. It is a proprietary battery pack. Cool thing is the scope actually comes with 2 of those batteries. So you're getting the internal battery, a removable battery, and a spare removable battery. And the great thing about having a new salesman is that the stuff rolls downhill, and so Ashley gets to do he gets to do some of the not so fun jobs that I've been doing for years.
The good thing though, he does it very enthusiastically.
He loves it.
Yeah, he likes it. He does the battery tests, and you don't even have to ask him to do it.
Right.
And
man.
so
we're
gonna
awesome.
keep him on.
Yeah, you do not. I do not have to ask him to do it, and then he sends over all the specs, so it's so awesome. This is an indoor test. This is a bench test. Charge the units completely up, or start a stopwatch, turn it on, set it there on the desk, let it run down, and watch them until the batteries go dead. So the internal battery, he got a couple minutes over 5 hours. And then on the removable battery, he got a couple minutes over 5 hours. So what that means is, as this thing comes out of the box, charge it up, again, indoors, bench test, perfect situation. You've got 10 hours of runtime. In the field, that's going to come down some, obviously. You'll be recording, maybe running Wi-Fi, turning it off and on, doing all those things. But still, 10 hours of runtime, and you've got a secondary spare rechargeable battery in the box. So you charge all those up, go in the field. I mean, you're starting out with a gas tank with basically about 15 hours. That is crazy good runtime. And with that spare battery, a lot of people don't even buy another one. Now, some of the guys up north, they're like, hey, man, we're going to be hunting long hours. It's going to be 0 degrees. Sure, they might grab another battery, but that is really nice. Moving on down, the weight is going to be 27.5 ounces, and it is a IPS 6.7, which is fully waterproof, submersible to 3 foot for 30 minutes, and dust proof. Cold temperature rating is down to -4. It's got a recoil rating of a 300 Win or a 7mm mag. And the warranty, cannot forget about the warranty. It is a 5-year iRay USA warranty. Guys, if you're looking at some of these InfiRay scopes, you need to be sure that you're buying from an iRay USA dealer and that you know what you're getting. You want to be sure you're getting this 5-year warranty. There are some optics from InfiRay that are not being brought in by iRay USA, and that can get confusing. They don't carry this iRay USA 5-year warranty. They also have a 5 business day turnaround time. So basically a replacement or a repair within 5 business days will get shipped back out to you. That's the basic specs, guys. In a nutshell, here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to say this quickly. This is what people care about. It's $5,000. It's 640 resolution. It's 12 micron. It's a 3-power base mag. It's got video, audio recording, a smartphone app, all the normal bells and whistles, fantastic battery life, and it's rated for a 300 Win or a 7mm mag. That's it in a nutshell, and those are some good specs.
Yes, they are. Sorry, I'm sitting here messing with lights and everything else while you're talking.
What are you doing?
I
Man,
know.
what is this guy?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Hey guys, Hans is going to show you. I'm going to let him explain because he's got the unit there about the mounting
Yeah.
system. I'm going to let him give a little more explanation there because if I try to explain it, he's holding the
Yeah.
unit. It'll make more sense.
So the mount, and if you've watched any InfiRay, iRay review so far, you know that it comes with a standard mount. It's a longer mount that it comes with that is going to be more ideal for a bolt action rifle. The mount that I have here on the GH50, this GH50, this is the American Defense Manufacturing Rico mount. It's a one throw lever mount. It's $199, but it is well worth it. And this is, a lot of people say, well, is one throw lever enough to hold it steady? And yes, absolutely, 100%. It's a return to zero quick release mount, the best on the market. And I would strongly, if you're going to be running an AR style rifle, strongly recommend the ADM Rico mount. If you're going to be running a bolt action rifle, the factory mount is going to be more ideal for doing that. But ARs, you're going to want this American Defense mount. So as we talked about the RH50, the MK1 RH50, this one is quite a bit smaller in size, not quite as long as the RH50, more compact, and a more, I guess, just a smaller designed. A lot of people obviously like that, smaller, trying to build a lighter rig, lighter weight rifle with a lighter weight optic on it. This is going to be ideal. It's also good for being able to take on and off the rifle with a good mount, but taking on and off the rifle to use as a scanner. It's going to be something that's going to be very good for that as well. But you got the 4-button layout on the top. It is separated by these, you see these ridges, these plastic ridges. So you've got good spacing with your fingers. You can absolutely operate this in cold weather with gloves on. They do have raised letters or raised symbols right here on the button so that you can find which one you're trying to find, and that's without gloves on. But it's got your objective lens focus knob here on top. It's got a magnetic, which I really like. Magnetic, you can see the two magnets right there on the lens cap cover. Goes on there, stays fastened very well. You've got your side battery station right here. It's got a little lip where the battery comes up. Just twist it and pull it out. On the other side, it's got your USB port where you can plug in your USB-C plug to your computer to download videos. You can also use that to plug the unit into the wall with the batteries in it. So it'll charge the internal battery and the removable battery by plugging it directly into the wall. Eyepiece diopter focus ring here on the front with a rubber removable eye cup. You can take that eye cup off. A lot of people do that. You may see in some pictures, but that is your scope. You get a chance to see it. Jason?
Yeah. Okay. So I hope that Hans cut to himself right there and cut me out because I'm over here messing with this microphone like a monkey.
I'm messing with my stuff and you're messing with yours. Yeah.
Exactly. If y'all heard all this, it's me moving this mic around. Every time that Hans cuts back to me, there's my mic will be in some different location. So I'm still working on this thing. All right, guys. So let's talk about some of the pros and the cons. And I'm going to be honest with you. The cons are pretty low. I mean, we're digging here. I mean, really, we like this unit a lot. And so I think that we really are. I mean, I'm searching here for some cons, but there's no perfect scope. So we liked it to pick them apart and find something that we would change. And, you know, I think staying consistent, to be honest, I'm kind of tired of saying it, but being consistent, because we brought it up with a lot of other brands of optics, is that in a perfect world, there would be no internal batteries that you can't take out. We all know that. We would all love there to all the batteries be removable, but sometimes it's just not possible to get this good battery life. I mean, if they took that battery out, you go from a 10-hour to a 5-hour runtime. 5 is great, 10's better. And so I get that. It is one of those things. And again, you got a 5-year warranty, so we're not worried about that. InfiRay or iRay USA says even though after the warranty period, they're still going to take care of customers for a reasonable amount of time if something was to happen to that battery. So I don't see it as a big concern anymore. These batteries are way better than they used to be 3 or 4, 5 years ago. But anyway, I mean, I guess if we could not have that, we wouldn't. The stock mount, again, Hans just went over that. I don't want to beat a dead horse. Again, if you're going with a bolt action style rifle, I want to explain maybe in case there was some confusion of why you're going to want to go with that. That little American Defense mount is fantastic. It's small, it's lightweight, it's all those things. But if you look, it sits right underneath the middle of the scope. So it's going to move that scope very far forward over the receiver, which if you're shooting an AR or something with a collapsible stock, I mean, even maybe a chassis gun, no problem. Slam that stock down, get in there close. That's good to go. But if you're on something like a bolt action rifle with a fixed stock, you're going to have a very hard time getting close enough to that eyepiece like you need to be. That's where that stock mount is going to be better. And there's nothing wrong with the stock mount. It's just that, number one, it is not a quick detach return to zero mount. I know there's been some people say they've taken it off and put it back on and stayed true, but it's not guaranteed for that. And we don't necessarily advise it for that. And also what happens is on an AR-15, a lot of times guys, because it sits back so far, which is what it's designed to do, they end up wanting to push that thing so far forward that they're bridging over their upper receiver and their barrel. It's not good. You're like bridging those Picatinny rails. So anyway, that's it. Not the end of the world either way. Again, if you're spending this kind of money and you're going to put it on an AR, spend $200 more and get the American Defense mount. Now, I want to talk about some pros. I'm going to go over this, quickly here because I think it's pretty self-evident. It's small. Okay, guys, this is a very nice unit. If you're wanting something that you can use as a handheld, like not during hunting season, or maybe just throw it in your pickup truck or whatever, I think this is a very good unit for that. Compact. Oddly, I thought that it was going to be. I mean, it feels lighter to me than like the Rico models because it's way smaller. But when you look at the specs, they claim they're only a couple ounces different, but golly, I wouldn't have guessed it. It definitely, the compactness makes it feel a lot lighter to me. Very, very good battery life. Again, we've harped on that. Getting a spare battery. That's $100 battery that you're getting the spare. So you get two batteries. Lens cap. Hans already mentioned that. That's a nice lens cap. Warranty. Again, 5-year. United States warranty. That's awesome. You don't have to worry about dealing with anybody overseas. You're going to deal with good folks here in Texas on that. And then Hans, did you have anything else on your pros? I just kind of ran through those.
No, I would say a lot of things that you mentioned are things that we've talked about in the past with iRay, the iRay products. And I really like the fact that here lately with some of their models, they are putting that extra battery in. It's a great feature. A great incentive to purchase an iRay product along with their 5-year warranty. I want to talk a little bit about customer service because a lot of people ask when they call in, one of the questions that comes up a lot, and they're interested in a particular scope, whatever brand they're talking about, they say, well, how is the customer service for the company for whatever scope we're talking about? Yeah, I'm going to tell you, iRay, they've been doing a great job lately. I think you'd agree with that, Jason. I mean, they put a lot of pressure on themselves when they came into the market with the 5 business day repair or replace guarantee. And Jason and I remember like thinking, man, that's pretty gutsy because that's a huge commitment because we knew the industry and we knew that. We felt like that was almost impossible considering the industry standard. In the past because of just all the how busy companies are and the process and all that. But man, I would tell you, everybody over there, I could name them all individually, but I mean, it's a whole collection of people over there that are doing a good job, and they're getting the scopes in and out. Their customer service right now, y'all, is really, really good. Yeah.
It is, and I'll say this, I think right now they're really standing out. A lot of the other companies through the busy season of November, December, January, February just got slammed. They got behind, and look, there was a lot of, to be fair, good excuses. I mean, some of their companies had software issues. Some of the companies had, turnover, the domino effect, where one person quits, and then the workload it was already too much, and then that goes to the less people, then somebody else quit. You get the domino. So there's been, I mean, really, some of these other companies have had some issues. I think they're all coming out of that, but man, I'm gonna tell you, iRay did a good job through the busiest of the busy seasons, and it was really impressive.
Yeah.
So we're very happy with it. And listen, I know there's somebody watching this. There's always going to be somebody who say, hey, I didn't get that call back, or hey, they took 6 days, or something happened. There's always an exception to the rule. But I'm telling you, from what we've seen industry-wise, iRay has been killing it. So very, very happy.
I want to bring up something else, and something that you and I, Jason, talk about quite a bit. It's a positive and a negative. InfiRay Outdoor and iRay here in the United States, they are bringing so many optics to the market, and I know all of you know this. You have so many choices with their product line. It's growing, it seems like, on a daily basis. There's so many different models. There's so many different models that in their own line that are competing against each other. It's a good thing for the consumer, I think, where you have so many choices and they're almost competing against themselves in a way, where they're having to add more features, add more accessories, all this stuff to make things more attractive. You've got some models that have certain battery systems and some models with completely different battery systems. It's confusing. It's a lot to keep up with, but it gives you a lot of choices. And, just this scope competing against their other scope, the RH50, and the comparisons between the two, there's some confusion there on how they're different, but there are a lot of choices. There's going to continue to be a lot of optics, y'all, coming out of InfiRay Outdoor here in the United States. Again, it's a good thing. It's also a negative, because it's a lot to keep up with. A lot of people are concerned about two things. First of all, am I going to buy this, and are they going to come out with something better next month? Well, I don't know. Nobody knows. Not likely. But what we tell people, I mean, they're going to come out with something better, and it's not going to be night and day difference, but there might be a better feature or a better battery or whatever. But it's always like any other manufacturer, it's going to happen. Maybe with InfiRay Outdoor, it may happen a little bit quicker, but that's not a reason not to buy something now, because you're wanting to get out there, you're wanting to hunt, you're wanting to get out there and have fun. What you need to do is just decide on an optic that's going to check as many boxes as you can possibly afford, I guess, and decide on that optic and go out and have fun. But like any other industry, any other company, there's always going to be new stuff that comes out. But InfiRay Outdoor is definitely pumping much more stuff out. Another question that comes out is, are they going to run a sale? And, InfiRay Outdoor has been running some deals and discounts on optics. If you're watching this video now, obviously about the deal that they're running on the 640 resolution MK1, the RH50, and the RH35. They're running a deal on, but again, those are not coming with any rhyme or reason. So you can sit and wait, and this optic may never go on sale, or it may go on sale in a month or two. You never know. It's how, Jason, and we talk about it all the time, it's how insane the industry is getting right now. But there's just so much coming out from InfiRay Outdoor. It's a positive and somewhat of a negative a little bit.
Yeah. And I think I just say this, guys, this is what I understand. Nobody wants to buy something that's on sale tomorrow, or there's a new model. But listen, if you buy an iPhone, or you buy an Android, or you buy a computer, or you buy a TV, or you go buy a $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $80,000, $100,000 pickup truck, I guarantee you there will be a sale on that truck, or that whatever you buy. At some point, somebody's going to get a better deal than you did, maybe a way better deal than you did. And I also guarantee there will be a new model. and it'll be out sooner than later. So it's just the way it is. People don't like it. They don't like to think about it in these thermal scopes, but it does happen. I want to bring this back around. I want to compare this real quick before we kind of, talk a little bit more about this scope and kind of talk about, realistically, we didn't even talk about the ID range. We need to talk about that. I want to talk about who it's good for, but a question that we keep getting is how does this compare to the RH50, the Rico MK1 RH50? So here's the answer. That scope, image quality wise, is, I'm just going to say it's the same. I think that's the easiest thing to say, is it's the same image quality. We have run them side by side. We have some video comparison, and side by side with a trained eye, I think you can say that the GH50 has a tiny little bit more detail sometimes in the background or in the trees or in the animal. But I'm talking about even us, like put one up to our eye, look at it, set it down, pick up the other one and go, they're identical. I mean, right there, pick one up, look at, you've got to literally like study it, look, okay, put the other one up real quick. I mean, that's what it takes. In the video side by side, I'll be honest, even watching the video, the first thing I said was, they're the same. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe this is, so the point that I'm making is, this is it's a, I don't know which way you're looking at this. If you already own the RH50, this is not a scope to upgrade to for better image quality. It's the same image that you already have. If you are looking to buy the GH or the RH50, but you say, hey, I like this design better, am I giving up anything? No, you're not giving up anything. You're getting the same image. Again, we could split hairs here, and I might say that it is 1 or 2% better. Identification range, all that doesn't matter. It is so close that, again, it doesn't really matter. So I just want to bring that up. That and I don't want to make this a whole comparison show. The one benefit I think you do have on the RH50 is that if down the road you want to add a laser rangefinder to the unit, you can do that for about $800. So that's definitely going to set your cost on up there above this unit. But it's just something to consider. If you're looking for small, compact, the GH50 is really, really nice and crazy battery life right out of the box. I mean, that's a big deal for a lot of people. So Hans, let's talk about the scope. Let's talk about what it'll do, ID ranges, and I mean, which that's always, I hate giving these because it's so subjective. I mean, it's a long ways, 400, 500, 600 yards. I mean, it really just depends on your abilities and the conditions. And, I don't know. I feel like these ID ranges are
I
tough.
think, they talk a lot about detection range with manufacturers. You'll see, they'll always say the detection range, but they never really say the ID range. I think it is because it is so subjective, but I think the detection range they say on is probably close to a couple thousand yards. And as we've talked about in the past, detection range is, in the way they measure, it's a human-sized target at that distance. So, obviously we're not, a hog is definitely not that tall. A coyote's much more difficult. But I would say, we've talked about in the past this is in line with a lot of the other 640 resolution optics that we've discussed here on this show as far as ID range. Low end in unideal conditions, 400 yards. In good conditions on a clear night, low humidity, low amount of moisture in the air, on a small target like a coyote, something smaller, I'm gonna say max, 500-600 yards on a coyote. And the reason why I say that is, telling the difference between a coyote and a regular dog or a small deer or something like that. On a larger animal like a hog or a deer, it could be a couple hundred yards further. Than that, because, with a deer, if you're trying to see if it's a deer or a hog, you're just looking for a long neck, for a deer, stuff like that. So it's a little bit easier to ID, obviously a bigger animal. But the coyotes, that can be a little bit trickier. So reasonable expectation, if you're a coyote hunter, 400 to 600 yards is what I would say. Now, you may be able to do more than that. You may be experienced and can, see a idea coyote on the, uh, the other field 1,000 yards away, and that might be great, but, 400 to 600 yards.
We have to give realistic, positive
exactly.
identification
400 to 600
ranges.
yards,
So,
and you'll be good.
Yeah. So I think overall this unit is going to be, it's a 3-power base mag. That is by far, current industry standards, the most popular magnification on the market. I think what this is not going to be good for is it's not going to be good for the average person that is spotting and stalking hogs and getting up there and shooting them at 20, 30, 40, 50 yards on average. I don't think that's ideal. I don't think you need 3-power to do that. I don't think for somebody that's sitting over feeders at 20 or 30 yards, or maybe you're a coyote hunter, you're sitting over a bait pile at very close ranges. No, I don't think that's what you need the 3-power for. But I think if maybe you're going to shoot a hog at 30, 40, 50 yards, but you're going to do a lot of shooting out there in your 60, 75, 100-yard range, or obviously further. Most coyote hunters are going to be doing most of their shooting above 75, maybe 100 yards. Perfect. It's going to be fantastic for you. Still a lot of hog hunters that aren't spotting and stalking, or even if they are, they're with a group of guys and they may be staying out there in that 100-yard range. I think you're going to like this. I think you're going to be glad to have that extra magnification at that point. So again, you're probably hearing that going, well, maybe I don't know what I need. Well, holler at us. We're glad to hear a little more about your hunting situation, terrain, what you're hunting, how you're hunting, and we can kind of figure out, which magnification will work best for you. But I think this is just, for the image quality you're getting, for the battery life, the warranty, all the features for $49.99, it is really, really good. Now, Hans, I'm just talking this out right here. So this is scary, because when I start saying these things, sometimes it's, Am I wrong to say that I'm really thinking, I'm looking up here trying to think hard. I know of one other scope from another brand that is a 643 power that is a little bit less than $5,000. Is there another, and I'm not talking about anything that's on sale or whatever, is there a regular priced 643 power for $5,000 besides, I'm thinking of one. Is there any others?
No,
so this is a big deal.
Yeah, when you get into 3-power stuff, you're talking about usually $6,000 and higher on a 640 scope. So yeah, there's, I was thinking about this before you even said it. I think there's only 2, this one and one from another brand, that are in that. Yeah, 5,000.
I know right now the RH50 is on sale. We've got the Bolt TH50C from InfiRay Outdoor. That's a 3.5 power. It's 5,500. Obviously, totally different body style optic. So yeah, well, I guess the point I'm trying to make is, guys talk about, well, I want to see the prices come down. Well, you're seeing it. This is the first regularly priced 3-power 640 for $5,000 that we've seen from InfiRay. And this is a big deal. It is a price drop. And, if we look at the Bolt TH50, that's 5,500. So, we're talking about, this is a 10% drop in price. It's a big deal. And I think that a lot of guys are going to jump all over this scope because of what they're getting in this small form factor that a lot of people really like.
I agree with that 100%. So if you are interested again in purchasing this optic, another optic, or just want to know what the difference is to help you decide, 877-350-1818, outdoorlegacygear.com. We'd love to talk to you. Again, Hans, Jason, or Ashley. Make sure you're talking to us. I don't know, ask us something that we would only know, and maybe that there will be some kind of code word, but don't get it confused. But 877-350-1818, outdoorlegacygear.com. If you want to find more episodes of the Late Night Vision Show, we have our own website. I don't know if you know that, but it's probably the best place to see the whole collection, the whole catalog of episodes, thelatenightVisionShow.com. Easy to find. Obviously, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on Spotify. Some of you are watching on Spotify. Some of you are just listening on an audio only version. Thank you for doing it. Give us, if you could, give us a good rating on wherever you're listening or watching. Subscribe, thumbs up. We'd love to have it. All that feedback helps us get pushed up in searches and all that kind of stuff to keep this show going. If you want to find more about Outdoor Legacy, more about Jason, go check out the Facebook page, the Instagram page, and also on YouTube. I'm going to throw this out there too. Ashley, you can find Ashley over on wtith. Now, he may not even know that I'm doing this or want me throwing this out there, but I'm going to, because he's been putting out some good content. That's ROWE_ETX on YouTube, and also on Facebook and Instagram, wtith. You can find him over there because he's putting out some clips from some of these scopes and video short clips that you can go and kind of see and get an idea what this stuff looks like. And then me. You can find me on Instagram, Hans ETX. You can find me on my Facebook page, Hans ETX, and then also on YouTube, the same thing. And thank y'all for joining us.
All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this show. Again, I know sometimes you get right here, you've watched it, and you say, okay, I got some specs. I got, what you like, what you don't like, but I still don't know if this is right for me. We get that. We do not expect you to watch this show and know exactly which scope is right for you from watching 1 or 2 or even 10 of these 45-minute shows. But it does help you maybe say, this is not right for me. Or maybe, hey, this is on my short list. I need to put this in my top 10. I need to put this in my top 2, whatever that is. There's some things you're going to be drawn to, some scopes you're not going to be drawn to, and that's perfectly fine. When you get that information, or maybe you've just watched one show, and maybe this is your first one, call us. That's what we're happy to help you figure out, and we would be honored and love to have your business. So, guys, we hope to see you again here next week. We've got a lot of reviews coming. We've got some more scopes right now. We're testing, trying to get some more video and stuff out of, and we will be reviewing those very, very soon. But between now and then, y'all stay safe in the fields and keep making those bacon pancakes.